Okay, good news, bad news. Do the good news first. I can't find the homily from yesterday. Bad news, there's 5 points. First point is heaven. Second point is Monsignor Hermes. Third point is love. The fourth point is betrayal. Someone has to remember this. Chuck, remember this. And the fifth point is final homily. So we'll do a little review already. First point is heaven. Monsignor Hermes. Love, betrayal, final homily. Second reading was all about heaven. If I was ever going to give a last homily, this isn't the last homily. If I ever was going to give a last homily, and I was being brought to I can't even say, we should say to as kids, the Russians are on the roof for the gas chambers, or it's probably very inappropriate now. If I was going to die, and I had to give one more homily, it'd be about heaven. I'd want you to think about heaven. I want you to think about heaven. Did you hear the second reading? Did you listen? Every tear will be wiped away. There'll be no more mourning. The heaven and the earth will pass away, and the heavenly Jerusalem will come down. Focus on heaven. Point number 1, period, mic drop. You'd be lucky if I walked away. It's not going to happen. Think about heaven more. This world is very superficial. And even the man with the microphone, who has, by God's grace and his mother's example, a fairly decent prayer life, gets caught up in the muck of everyday existence, just like you do. Just like you do. And what do we share that our friends and family and those who have fallen away don't share? We stay together with our pilgrimage towards Christ. So number 1, heaven. Number 2, we got the point, heaven. Number 2, Monsignor Hermes. Yesterday was his 50th anniversary party in Dixon. Many people here went. Many people here. Thanks for the beef. Great beef yesterday. Thank you. I got to order my own meal at home. It was wonderful. Seriously. And the onions were great too. So, Monsignor had an awesome party. And Monsignor Hermes, look, I've been a priest 20 years. Don't boo or clap. 20 years and 4 days. And thank you for your underwhelming response to my 20th anniversary. I want to thank all those who emailed me. Thank you, Tom. That's a fact. Anyway, no, there's not true. There was a card from Dan. Anyway, so if Monsignor's life, Monsignor Hermes, 20 years on the job. If I went through my accomplishments, one of them would be living in your parish as long as I have and being his friend and his housemate for 7.5 years. I would put that on my resume as accomplishments. Having the friendship of that holy Monsignor for as long as I've had it. And at his party, it was awesome. The music was awesome. The people who showed up from St. Thomas were awesome. If the people whose lives he's changed could hold hands and make a chain, it would go from here to Los Angeles, California, and back. That's many lives he affected in his 50 years as being a priest. And it was awesome to be part of that Mass and celebration. Talking to one of the captains of industries, not captains of the airlines, before Mass, using Monsignor as an example to all those who work and love and give and sacrifice. I can tell you from yesterday, watching Monsignor's 50th anniversary party, there is no earthly compensation for a life lived at that high of level of service. So to all the moms, all those who suffered, sacrificed, buried a loved one, those who keep worshiping in season and out, especially when it's uncomfortable, God bless you. Your reward in heaven will be great. If you look to your peers, and at times even your spouses, most of the time your children, you will not get the compensation and the reward in this life you seek. You will be highly disappointed. And it will be very sad. Big boy pants, big girl pants. I'll put on the big boy pants. You got to put them on. That's the truth. If you're looking for love from someone on this earth that's going to repay you for the sacrifices you made, you're looking in the wrong place, buddy. God will repay you, and God knows your hearts. God knows your hearts. I can't say as far as I'm conscious, I really want to be here right now. I want to be at Mass. I want to worship God. I want to receive communion. I'm taking no credit for it. I didn't earn it. God knows my heart. God knows your hearts. Point number 3, love. Monsignor's whole homily was on love. Jesus here said, if you ever fall away from Mass, or someone you love that's fallen away from Mass, and you bring up Mass to them, and they all say the same thing for the most part. I'm basically a good person. You know the golden rule. Well, that's not what he said here. I know what that means. That's not what he said here. He said, as I have loved you, I laid down my life for you while you were still sinners. As I have loved you, so also you should love one another. Not just do unto others, not just the golden rule. That's great. I'm not bashing the golden rule. I'm telling you there's something above it for those who have the desire and have the motivation to serve God and to be more one with Him. Mediocrity is the enemy, folks. Complacency is the enemy. Don't just love as you wish you'd like to be loved. Some people don't like themselves. No, love as God has loved you. And Monsignor made that very clear. And Monsignor said on his 50th what I could say on my 20th. And the state's attorney was here yesterday, the old one. I have no pending indictments. No, nothing on me right now. I shouldn't even joke about that. Sorry. It's probably not a good joke. But right now, no. I'm just saying. The point is, 20 years as a priest, him is 50. This has been a joy beyond measure. For all those who are, and again, we all still struggle with selfishness. If you're still young and choosing a life that you want to live, there's no greater life than serving other people. It's just period, mic drop. Exclamation point. There's no greater life than serving other people. There just isn't. And as Monsignor echoed in his homily, and I cannot reproduce his words from yesterday today, it has been such an adventurous, beautiful, joyful ride. And I've received far more in this life. Monsignor said he received far more in this life than his prayers were answered beyond his wildest imagination. Our God, the God you came to visit today, to pay homage to, and to reverence, and to prepare your hearts to receive, will never be outdone in generosity. You just got to be open to take it. Okay, so far so good. We're almost done. So we got heaven in place. Monsignor, he's on my resume. And Father Evans is great too. I love Father Evans. We had an awesome dinner last night. We laughed. Father Simon and Father Evans laughs over that beef. He brought some serious beef. I told him to make it red because Simon could throw it in the microwave. He likes it dark. I like mine mooing. And if you're a PETA person, I am sincere. I apologize. I'm not caught up yet to the veg. Maybe I'll get there one day. I'm still a cow eater. Sorry. I apologize. And there's a lot of methane coming out right now. Anybody? Okay, so we got heaven, we got Monsignor, we got love. What stands in the way? Who knows the answer? What stands in the way? Betrayal. Today's gospel starts with betrayal. It starts with when Judas had left him. I say this to you. I say, new plane. Someone said erase the board. I was talking to a pilot recently. He says, hey, we have another way of explaining this. You want to start a new subject? Just start with saying new plane. Okay, new plane, new idea. All of us have been hurt in this life. If you tried to love somebody, you tried to serve somebody, you tried to give yourself away to somebody, guess what? You've been hurt. Some of you have been betrayed. I remember when 3 priests turned me in for drinking too much alcohol back in 2002. I grew up on Grand and Western. The last thing you would ever do is rat out your friends. I thought they betrayed me. I really did. I was wrong, but that's what I thought. Why did you guys come to me? They're like, we did. You weren't listening. But I really felt betrayed. For my neighborhood, that's the last thing you would do. This is how I think. I'm not saying it's correct. What I'm saying is, getting it back to you, I'm trying to give an example. Some of you may have been betrayed by somebody. Maybe in a marriage, maybe in a business deal, maybe with a brother, a family member, maybe a mom, maybe a coach, maybe a priest. Maybe I've said something offensive to you, which I would apologize right now, and I am sincere. But you got to get over it somehow. Maybe you betrayed somebody. Maybe you did. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to awaken you to the fact that is a what do you call it? A clog in your spiritual heart. That's keeping you from experiencing more deeply the love of God and the power of the resurrection and the hope of living with God forever in glory. I'm asking you to identify that clog, that potential spiritual coronary, that plaque buildup. Now, when Jesus got betrayed, if Jesus would have said, man, Judas broke my heart, I wouldn't have loved him any less. If Jesus would have said, you know what, this kills me. I gave him everything. There's nothing I didn't give this guy. What a bum. What a rat this guy is. He never said that though, did he? He could have. I would have understood it. You would have understood it. Those of you who suffered. So, hey, maybe you lost somebody you loved and you thought God betrayed you. That's really heavy. That's really heavy. But he didn't say that. What did he say? Then Judas left. What's the first words out of his mouth? I've never done this in suffering, pain, or what I thought was betrayal. Then Jesus said, now is the Son of Man glorified. And God is... Who would have thought that through what I perceive as a betrayal, I'm still a priest and I'm functioning, as far as I'm concerned, at a halfway decent level. Who of you have taken sufferings or a betrayal and turned them into the glory of God? And have somehow seen them as somehow helps to becoming more humble, more aware of God's graciousness, and more aware of the need for forgiveness. How many of us live with an unforgiving heart that needs conversion? So I'm going to move on with this. But I'm serious. If I sat you down with a pen and pencil and made you do this, you'd come up with some names. You would. I'd be surprised if you wouldn't. You're right, Father. Again, I don't want to get specific with you because I know too much information. So betrayal gets in the way of all this. What's your last point? Here's my last point. Okay, see, it's okay. It helps not to bring notes. You know, if I was a rapper, I don't like rap. But if you're a rapper and you freestyle, you get like extra points, don't you? I get booed. People are doing this. Don't think I don't see you, by the way. Jesus said in today's gospel, I'll be with you only a little while. What did he say? He said, my children, I'll be with you only a little while longer. The only difference is you're older than me. So my adult friends, I only got a few more homilies here. They're going to move me to Huntley. So don't boo or cry or laugh or clap. But if I had to give one more homily, I already told you, the resurrection. In the sacristy of Assisi, I mentioned this last Mass, there's a plaque in Italy for the priest. It says, priest of God, offer this Mass like it is your first Mass, your last Mass, and your only Mass. I wish all of you would come to Mass like that. I wish all of you would come to Mass thinking this is it. This is it. This is the big time. This is a real moment. I'm going to be really present. I'm going to open up my heart. I'm going to put away my distractions and let God enter me more deeply and more fully. And I'm going to become more like God. Here's the last thing I'm going to tell you. 3 points. Sacrifice. The number one reason I come to Mass every single time I come to Mass, which is every day, is not for the beautiful music. It's certainly not for the long-winded tangential homily. It's not to see you nice people, especially those who got dressed up. It's not to put money in the collection basket. It's because of the sacrifice of Calvary that's offered on this Mass that the Catholic Church provides for us. That's the reason I come to Mass, the new and everlasting covenant. Father, how is that made present? Under the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist that we're about to receive. And finally, the real presence of God who exists in our tabernacle behind me and in that adoration chapel over there. One last homily. Heaven, sacrifice, sacrament, real presence.